Hey golfers, I'm Derek Murray and this is ForeGolf Custom. Today I'm going to talk about probably one of the best family of fairway woods that's available in the marketplace. And the reason I say best is because this family I can work across so many different types or styles of golfer that it just makes it the best application of design that I've seen certainly in 2026. Today we're looking at TaylorMade's new Qi4D head. Now I've done the driver already, which is a video that was posted. I'll put the link to that up above. You can have a look at that if you need to. But I'm going to explain why this family of fairway woods is perfect for every level of golfer. If you're the golfer that's looking for more consistency, you want a fairway wood that's easy to hit from the tee as it is off the fairway. If you want to have a fairway wood that's the easiest to hit from any lie or any kind of ground, then I've got the answer for that. Or if you're that golfer that really struggles with fairway wood, I have the perfect solution for you. Let's start with the one that I'm using the most. This is the fairway wood that I'm finding the easiest to work with. I'm finding it the best fairway wood for flighting the ball into the air, and I'm finding it the best fairway wood to have, I guess, in the different sort of lofts across the different heads. Right, we're talking about Qi4D Max. How you know that it's the Max is the club has the weight at the very back of the club. So this is the weighting at the back of the club here. This actual weight is what moves the center of gravity further back and deeper in the club head. Okay, so why is that important? Well, for me, it kind of does two jobs. Number one, having that weight at the very back and having no weight in the crown of the club. So all the weight that used to be in the crown design is now carbon fiber. That weight has now been transferred into the back and the below the center of the club. When that weight goes there, it helps to get stability in the club head. So this helps with the forgiveness of the club. But the big gain for me when it comes to fittings is this club is very easy to get the ball up and into the air. So for golfers that would be like, oh, I can't hit fairway woods, I struggle to get the ball into the air, and then I struggle to get the ball to land correctly. So landing angle here, this just means the degrees into the target area, mostly the green, and the launch angle. So once these two are nice and high going out, this is a 3-wood by the way, and this is the kind of speeds that work really well for this, kind of in that mid to 90s, but it can work in slower speeds. But the key here is that the design is to get the ball into the air very quickly, which means the landing angle, which means the ball will stop on the green. Having that weight low and deep means that the club weighting is lower than the center of the ball, which makes it easier to flight. This club is the easiest to use from a 3-wood perspective, 5-wood perspective. It comes in a 7 and it comes in a 9-wood as well. If you struggle to get fairway woods in the air, I can guarantee you get a Qi4D Max in your hands in a 7 or a 9-wood and your ball flight issues are over. This thing is easy to flight, get the ball into the air. Shaft-wise, use something light. Don't go too heavy with this club. You're trying to create dynamic flight through impact, so you're looking at 50 gram, 60 gram. Try and keep the club design a bit softer as well. So this is a lower kick point or a softer, higher torque value in the tip, and that will help to flight the ball. I'm using the hosel a little bit on these clubs if I'm trying to close the club head in a little, but it does come quite closed. Maybe look at the higher settings if you have a little bit of a slice, and maybe look at the upright if you don't want to have the club that's too closed and too high a flight. You can use upright, which just closes the face a fraction. I'm not really using the lower settings on this that much because it tends to open the face and diffuses what I'm trying to do with the club. The next one, it's the core head, or we call it the core head. TaylorMade nicknamed it the core because it was Max, Core, and Tour, but this is the core head. How do you know it's the core head? It's got the weight up front. What am I using this for? All right. So where the other club is really good for getting the ball into the air, it can be a little complicated off the tee. So if you need a backup to the driver, you need something that's a little bit more like a driver flight, I'm using Core. I'm also using this club a lot if I need to adjust the hosel, for instance. So if I need to have the club head a little more open at address so that the club doesn't look shut for that sort of striker that wants to see the club head a little open, maybe he suffers with a pull hook, I'm using Core head. The adjustability goes all the way through from the 3-wood right through into the 7 as well, so it means that I can angle the club head and then match those angles right through the whole set. Whereas with the Max, the 7-wood doesn't come with adjustability, so if you're needing to angle the club head and be consistent through the set, you're going to look at getting the core head. The 7-wood in this core head is exceptional. If you're a good ball striker, you're not mad about hybrids, you're not really mad about long irons, and you want something that gets in the air and gets down soft on the green, 7-wood, even 9-wood in this, phenomenal golf club. That weighting up front, it's not quite as stable as Max, but this club head is designed for that stronger striker. So let's say, for instance, you're that mid speed, so say maybe high 90s, a little bit higher again, into the hundreds maybe, in terms of club head speed. You need something that regulates spin. Core is the head for you. It's also brilliant off the tee as a backup club. And as I said, it's kind of designed for that, where I'm looking to shape the club head. Shafts in these, little firmer. You're looking to try and control the trajectory. So you don't want something that flights the ball into the air. You don't want it too high in terms of launch. Shaft has to tie in with that. So you're looking at something maybe around that sort of 65, 70 grams. Again, keep the tip a little stiffer. This is designed for more control, and you want to organize your spin rates. So tie the shaft into the head. The last club head then is the tour head. So where am I doing with this? Well, this is the Ball Strikers one. It comes in a 3-wood and a 5-wood predominantly is where I'm using it. It has adjustable weights. So I can move the weights from the back up into the toe and into the heel. And as I move the big weight around the club, or the heaviest weight around the club, it then changes the way the club head operates. If I want a little bit more fade bias, I'm putting the weight into the toe. If I want a little bit more draw, I'm putting it into the heel. It doesn't have as much as an effect as the Max head, because the club head profile and footprint is smaller. So when the weight is closer to the face, it has less of an effect in terms of that MOI or that ball flight. So moving that weight has subtle changes in terms of the flight. This is kind of that stronger striker, maybe lower handicapper. I'm using this a lot where I'm opening the club face and then I'm tuning the weight to suit the flight on it. It is very strong, comes out fast, comes out low in trajectory. It's not designed for your flighters. If you want a flight club, stay with the Max. The weight adjustability on this gives me a little bit more dial in, so that again, for the better player, where I'm trying to tune the weights to suit the flight. Like I said, tune the weights to suit the hosel, to suit your angle of face angle, and then weights to suit what way you want the club head to operate. Don't go too long with this. It's kind of a heavier head, so you want to keep the lengths a little on the shorter side. So if you need something that's much longer, better off sticking with the Max or the core head, where you can tune that weight port. Bottom line is, you're looking for a fairway wood to play, to get the ball into the air, control, spin, angle the club face based on a better strike. You will not find a better family of fairway woods. Hope you find that information interesting. And do me a favor, will you hit subscribe? It helps a lot. Make sure that we know that you're watching the videos. If you have any questions in relation to these clubs, stick them in the comments below. See you at the next video. Cheers.